So we are going to learn a little about view models, and a view model is used if you want to send a view data from more than one model. That's basically why you would use it. And typically, you would put your view models, which are classes, in a view model folder. So you have a model folder, and then you have a view model folder. And it is another convention to add view model to the end of the class name. Now, it's not a requirement, but it's a convention. It's a standard practice. So this little example is much simpler than what the book is doing. Um, all this is doing is it's our music store example that we've worked with, and we are pulling in our album and our artist model so that we can actually list out the artists and their albums. Okay, that's what we want to display on the page. So very simple. So this is much more complex. It is from the book. It's pulling in a team class. It's creating a couple additional properties for active conference and active division. And then it's creating some lists. And then it's got some methods where it is converting to lowercase. So a little bit more complex. But basically creating a view model is just a 3-step process. You create the model in the view models folder. You create an action method in a controller to retrieve the data and pass it to the view. And then you create the view that's going to display the data. So it's a very simple process. So this is an example, very simple example of an action method that is retrieving the album and the artist data. So it's putting each one in a list. Okay, and you can see that I created a data object using that new artist view model. So I've got my object, I pull in all the albums, all the artists, and then I pass the object along to the view. Down in the view, you can see that I'm pulling in the artist view model. And then I've got the grid set up here. So I've got this by row. Then I've got columns set up. So I'm pulling in the title, which is artists and albums. I am basically then listing the artists and their albums on the left, and then I've got a graphic on the right. So for the artists and their albums, I'm using for each loops, and I'm retrieving the artist first, displaying their name. Then I have kind of a nested for each because I want to go through all of the albums and I want to retrieve that artist's albums. So I use artist ID, okay, because that is the primary key in artist and it's the foreign key in album. So I loop through everything that is in my album list and I'm checking to see if the artist on the album is the same as the artist that I'm displaying. And if it is, then I display the title of the album. Okay, so this is very simple, but it's also very effective and it works.